In today's video, we're going to be jumping back in some more Elden Ring Nightreign, and for this one, we're going to be going over everything you need to know in order to complete the Raider's full Remembrance questline. The great thing about this, the Raider is an absolute beast in the game, but also its questline's really short, making it probably the fastest one to complete if you're going to be doing it. Now the first thing you're going to do, same as with any of the characters, you're going to have to go over to the journal in order to actually start off these quests, and remember if there's any chapters that you can't actually unlock to progress these, then what you're going to want to do is to make sure you've completed a few more expeditions and defeated any of the Night 3 Night Lords in order to play with this character a little bit more, which will then unlock more chapters in the journal itself. But for his very first remembrance, what you're going to have to do is go over to chapter 2, and then straight in front of yourself will be the Iron Menial, who you want to speak to and completely exhaust his dialogue. Just behind him there's going to be a massive stone pillar, you cannot miss it, and you're going to want to click on this, activate it, and then go back to the Iron Menial once more. When it comes up with the option, pick about the tourney between. Again, completely go through his dialogue, and then go back to the massive stone tablet where you want to click on yes in order to enter a kind of arena battle. This one's actually quite nice and easy, so I wouldn't worry too much. You're going to be facing off against the one strike gladiator. The main thing you got to remember, just make sure you use all of your skill moves whenever you can, but even without them you should be able to take this guy down quite easily, and you're able to knock him down quite a lot just by spamming your light attack most times. Once he's defeated, it's come up with victory on the screen, then you're going to get the reward, the torn braided cord. Once you're back out, you're going to speak to the Iron Menial once more, then go up to the stone tablet again, click on it, and it's going to say that you're not prepared enough in order to take on the next one yet. Click on the Iron Menial once more, completely exhaust his dialogue, and then just behind him you'll be able to exit this remembrance session. At this point you're going to be back in the round table hold, and now you're going to have the new relic for the Raider, the torn braided cord. This one's really nice, it gives you +3 to your strength, but also whenever you're using your standard skill move and you take any kind of damage, which will happen quite often but it's only going to be very minimal, you're now going to get a nice bit of attack power increase, but also you're going to grab yourself some extra endurance, allowing you to swing a little bit more of your weapon afterwards. Now again, remember if you do need to proceed these chapters any further and you're not able to actually complete them, say it's not coming up with chapter 4 or 5, whatever it is, just go back to the round table hold and complete a few expeditions with the actual Raider themselves and take out the Night 3 bosses in order to proceed them further with the journal. But as long as you can undertake these, go back to the journal, and the next remembrance you're going to be doing is going to be over on chapter 4. For this one, as soon as it starts off, once again you're going to speak to the Iron Menial, completely exhaust his dialogue again, and he'll hand you the Iron Menial scroll. Then, once that's done, speak to him once more, then go up to the massive stone pillar behind him, and this time you'll be teleported into another arena, but this battle is going to be against a slightly tougher foe. The enemy you're facing this time is going to be the blinding Elder Lion, and this thing does actually hit a whole bunch harder than the first guy, so you do have to be a little bit wary. What you probably want to do is dodge quite a few of his attacks. I believe it's usually 3 attacks in a row, then go in for the big hits until you can get him down into that down state and pull off a whole bunch of damage for yourself. If you need to use your special counter attack, that will work out perfect as well, but ultimately after a little bit you should be able to take him down, because once again he's not actually too difficult once you start getting his attack patterns down. Once that's done, you're going to come out, you're going to speak to the Iron Menial again, and once his dialogue's done you'll be able to walk behind him and conclude this remembrance. Once that's completed, you're going to be back at round table hold, and this time you're going to grab yourself the Raider's Chalice, which is absolutely amazing because it gives you 2 red slots for your relics as well as a white one, so you can use it universally to place pretty much any colour in it. Whenever you're ready, now you're going to undertake the final part of his questline. You're going to head back to the journal, and for this one we're going to be over on chapter 7. This time when you go in it's going to be slightly different. You're going to speak to the Iron Menial, and he's going to say instead of being able to kick it off straight away, you have to go all the way down to the shoreline. Rather than running back and forth for this, because if you do get defeated you have to come back in very often, so the best thing to do is by going over to your map. If using controller, that was by pressing select, and then scroll all the way down with your D-pad in order to get to the shoreline, and you should be able to spawn straight there. Run forward a little bit before it gives you a little sequence going straight into another arena battle, and for this one you're going to be fighting against Whitehorn. For the first phase of this you're going to be facing pretty much yourself but in a dark shadow form, and honestly he's not that difficult. Just go in with a whole bunch of attacks and you should be able to dwindle his health very nice and steadily. The one thing you do want to watch out for though is whenever he does his counter attack, because that's going to hit you with massive damage, so instead you might want to do a couple of hits and then back away, or at least roll dodge whenever you can in order to avoid this. After you've done enough damage to take him down to half health, this guy's going to turn into something that I wasn't suspecting at the time, which is going to be an absolutely massive boss enemy, one of those rotten trees, and at this stage you do have to be a bit mindful because it hits you very hard, so roll dodging, moving out of the way and making sure you avoid his attacks is always going to work out best before you start some counter strikes. Now obviously, depending on what relics you've got going for you, you will be able to pick different ones than I've got. But I'd say some to look out for would be ones that have got extra HP, because that will help you out whenever you need it, because you've still got quite a few potions. Or of course, if you've got something that gives you partial health back, that works out amazing, because then whenever you do take damage, most times you're able to recoup quite a lot of it, as long as you don't get a reprisal and hit once more from the enemy themselves. Lastly, one of my favourite moves for him in the game has to be when you change your compatible skill to Eruption. So if you can manage to get hold of this one, this should make the fight quite trivial, and I found myself able to beat him, even though I did flask up quite a lot on the second time, by just pretty much spamming that attack over and over again most times, with a couple of roll dodges thrown in for good measure. But as long as you're not getting hit too often and you're able to potion up and do some damage yourself, you should be able to take this guy down, nabbing yourself some goodies in the process, which is going to be this one just here, the Black Claw Necklace. Once that's concluded, head back outside, you're going to speak to the Iron Menial once more, completely exhaust his dialogue, then go straight back up to the stone pillar, click on that, and then finally go back to the Iron Menial again, click on him, talk through his dialogue, and then you'll be able to go all the way over to a stone where you'll be kind of paying your last respects. Once that's finished, you're going to have the Raider's Remembrance outfit, which is really cool. It's quite different to some of the others because most of them don't have very big changes, but this one makes him look like a complete barbarian, so it's definitely worth having as a change of cosmetic. Once that is done, you'll be able to then head back out, click on the exit so you can exit the Remembrance, and then back at Round Table Hold, you're now going to have the Black Claw Necklace as a relic, which gives you, whenever you're defeating enemies near your totem, you're now going to get some extra HP restored, as well as it giving you some extra art gauge, and a little bit of poise as well. As well as this though, now you've completely unlocked that Remembrance outfit, so if you did want to change it on or off, you can do. Just go to your dresser and decide which ones you want to unlock and which ones you want to equip. Honestly though, this is one of the better ones that you can unlock as a Remembrance, so I thought it was kind of cool. And also, I'm really enjoying the Raider class in his expedition, so it was well worth having. Also, don't forget, as you start making your way through the game and progressing through some of the tougher Third Night bosses, you can unlock some really cool skins for this character, including what is very possibly my favourite skin in the game currently. This rock-like one just here makes you look like an absolute monster, and when you've completed all of the bosses, you'll unlock pretty much everything. And if memory serves me right, this might be the final one you unlock, the more rounded Katarina outfit. Overall though, just some quality choices here, and the Remembrance one is awesome as well. But yeah, hopefully that's helped a few of you guys and girls out. There's going to be a whole bunch more content away from me, hints, tips, guides and some build guides, as well as some things that you should definitely look out for, some of the strongest relics and such. As always, Wolfins Gaming, take care. I'll see you on the next day.